So I want to talk about branding, specifically brand names or coming out with brand names. Brand names, there are a couple different types. So for example, Google, Yahoo is not a proper word that you can find in the dictionary. It's made up, sounds cool. Yahoo and Google, like it's catchy, it's somewhat memorable after you keep saying it, everyone talks about it. So the brand name here comes from when everyone starts to talk about it, use your name, and then there's that recall of remembering what your brand is about, what you do, and all that. The other one that's quite similar is, for example, Apple. Apple doesn't sell apples, right? They sell technology products, tech products. So why did Apple choose to call themselves Apple? I don't know. Maybe there's a real reason, but most of us wouldn't know. But it's still, they take on a word from the dictionary, Apple, for example, and then once everyone remembers that, oh, they associate Apple with good tech products, simple to use, things like that, then that's where their brand comes in. And then there are other ways to name brands, right? For example, name it after an actual person, JP Morgan, what else? Goldman Sachs. Why am I naming bank names? But you get the idea. Name after real people, and then after, for a long time, after a while, people associate the name with what the company does or the business does. And then there's a third type, which is very common also, which is to name the brand after what it's supposed to do. For example, speakers or microphones. Let's say microphone, you put the two words sound good as a brand name, and people will easily think of sound equipment, sound whatever. So when they think, oh, this brand is called Sound Good, it means that they want to say that their products sound good or make you sound good. Maybe they sell speakers and microphones, things like that. And that's pretty common, that's pretty obvious. If you whatever line or product line that you want to be in, you associate what you want people to think of it, what is the close related word that you can put it together. For example, the company that I'm working at currently, Hex Trust, hexadecimal plus trust. You can trust this company to take care of your funds, your money, your cryptocurrencies, your digital assets, something along these lines. So other examples I can think of is like Pinterest. You pin your interests, or in the airline industry is very common, like Tiger Airways, Air Asia, Singapore Airlines, Air, everything, Ryanair, right? In the Adobe products, you have Photoshop, which is used for photos. Then you have Illustrator, which is meant for you to illustrate. Pretty obvious. After Effects, which supposedly you use it to after your video is done, you use it for effects. So After Effects, even though you can use it for more than that. So a lot of names derive their meaning from the actual purpose that they serve. But I come to my point now that there's a type of thing that you shouldn't do when it comes to naming, which is to make it difficult for people to pronounce or understand. For example, I used to work for a company, a brand. They had this word modest, and then the word style, and then they put the two words together, modest style, but they combine it there whereby the words overlap. Because so modest style, they want the company or the brand is supposed to represent modesty and clothing, and then is in fashion, right? So putting the two words seems like a good idea, modest style. But when you put the two words together, you can also read it as mode style. So that's like a crazy flop, right? People mispronounce the name very easily. Mode style and model style sounds very different. And if you are trying to establish a brand, you don't want people to mispronounce it that easily. For example, let's say I want to open a bank, a brand, which is like a banking thing. So BANK, let's say I want to be a bit witty with it, change the K to a Q. It still sounds like bank, right? BNQ, bank. Then I call it new bank. But when you talk to people and you're gonna have to say, hi, I represent New Bank. I'm from New Bank. Okay, then they look you up. How do I pronounce it? How do I spell it or whatever? I can't find it. It's like, oh, you need to say that, oh, it's New Bank, but the K is Q. I'm like, I imagine saying that to every single client, prospect that you meet. It's, I mean, having that consistency in how you present your brand name is important, because you don't want, like, for example, even within a company, you don't want employees, one side, a few employees to say, oh, we are bank, or we are new bank, and then another side say, oh, we are bank, and then another side, oh, we are NB. Then when you talk to people, there's very little consistency, and people will not be able to draw that connection as easily, because, oh, a bit one over here is like new bank, over here is NB, over here is bank, and then everyone has their own way of saying things. Customers and clients will not be able to remember you as easily. So that's what I'm going to say about naming. Try to avoid names that are difficult to pronounce, or that you need to clarify, oh, this is how you spell it, this is how you should pronounce it or spell it or whatever. In the sense of like Nike or Nike, I think it's pretty it's pretty okay, whereby, oh, everyone knows Nike or Nike, whether you are from this place or this or that place. It's such an established brand that Nike or Nike. But I think it's not a good idea to like say you are Pear. Your brand name is Pear, but then you need to spell it as PEAARL, whatever, man. No one's gonna be able to remember when they type in Instagram. They're gonna try to find you. They're like, how to spell? Forget it, man. That day I was trying to look for Omnidesk on Instagram, right? And I mean, this is a sidetrack, but I try to find OMNIDESK. I can't find their Instagram, for goodness sake. I cannot believe how, like, I think it is a huge hindrance to being found on Instagram for them, because I could find Omnidesk, I think Malaysia or another country. So is there like a different Instagram account for another country or something like that? But I could not find the Singapore one until I had to look for the video, look for like reels, and then after that I look, okay, I found their account, which is, I think, My Omnidesk. Which is like, why would anyone search My Omnidesk, right? If the account is taken already, go and try to buy it off. Man, you should be like big enough that, oh, this is important to us, that when people search for our name, they can find it easily. I think Crypto.com paid a lot of money just to acquire that URL. Crypto.com. Oh, okay, I found it. This is a Reddit post which says, in 2018, Crypto.com allegedly paid 12 million for the domain, which now seems like an absolute bargain. 12 million for the Crypto.com domain. So imagine if, like, Omnidesk, they have to, instead of going on crypto.com, you have to go to mycrypto.com, right? Which sounds absolutely crazy, because how will anyone find you? Yeah, I go on. Let me show you. I mean, it's a terrible idea. It's a sidetrack. Yeah, you see OmniDesk is here. Let's remove it. Let's remove this. OMNMNIDESK. Yeah, maybe it's because it's here already. I mean, I was looking at their profile. That's why it's on top. But look at this. I remember seeing OmniDesk Design.sg, all these others, and then OmniDesk.my, the OmniDesk AU Australia, and then I remember that I didn't see the OmniDesk, the main account. So whatever the reason, why is it so difficult to put to have the OmniDesk? See, OmniDesk is by someone else here, a Russian account apparently, someone from Russia. So if I were OmniDesk, I would try to find a way to get the account name, broker it from someone else, or try to get it owned totally, because it's just it's tough, man. I think it does help. It does limit your views, or your ability to get reach, your ability to get found on Instagram.